Oh, yeah, jeez.
Sorry.
Well,
I didn't look where I put it. Sorry.
you're lucky this.
Starting this project, my hopes were high, but I was sorely filled with unmet expectations. My sights were lofty, and I found myself grappling with the sad reality of falling short. In moments of perceived failure, we must find seeds of growth. I like to think of a dandelion pushing through concrete, dry dirt. They continue to grow and rise, resilient and determined. While torn between my desires for perfection, I was faced with human limitations. I decided to just embrace and acknowledge this journey. Life is about setbacks and disappointments, but it is also filled with choices. I am going to choose to celebrate progress.
Three left, Bolt. Three, Bolt. Make sure the can doesn't fall in your face.
I decided to film the process of working on my classic 1977 Fiat X19. I mainly work on newer vehicles and have never really got the chance to work on something as old and crumbly as she was. I knew it was going to be quite the challenge when I realized I couldn't even find tutorials on YouTube University. While I had my fair share of frustrating moments, I also had a great deal of laughs. My ambitions were high, and I wasn't even sure what I wanted to do with her. I knew I wasn't fond of the color, and I rolled the tapes from there. First things first is painting my tire rims. So for this, I'm going to need my white primer paint, my top coat, some masking tape, and a trash bag. To get started, I split the bag in 4 equal parts. I also cover my lug nuts with tape because I want those to stay silver. I'm then going to go in with my primer and try and get a nice even coat over everything. I'm going to pop on these cute little valve covers and repeat the process with the other 3 tires. I really hated all the black on her. I feel like it's giving Victoria's Secret in the worst way possible. So I decided to redo all the black spots in my white primer paint. They were absolutely packed full of grime. Gross. Won't you stay with me, my darling? Late at night when I gave them a bath. The dirt was pretty caked on, so I ended up scrubbing them with some rubbing alcohol later. Again, I'm just going to go in and try and get a really nice and even coat on white throughout these pieces. My mentor Donnie decided to stop by and check out the work. I started looking at this really concerning part of my door. We were thinking it might have been a split in the door's metal due to an old accident. This would cause me to have to weld it, which in the end wouldn't be a huge issue. To start the sanding, I'm going in with a circular sander and a 120 grit paper. The hood was started already from the previous owners, and they got her down to metal in some spots, which isn't great. So we're going to try to not do that. I'm starting off with such a strong grit to get this hard clear coat off of the paint. I then switched to 220 grit to soften it up and get to the base color of orange. I started hitting that spot in the door and realized it was just packed full of Bondo and was just a dent. Handyman, let's do it!
My car is like car. I think it's 90% Bondo.
I had originally planned to wrap a lot more than just the hood, but the guy I got my car from had unfortunately welded many pieces together that shouldn't have been, such as the front quarter panels to the windshield. The automotive industry provides jobs for 9.7 million people in America today. With new and improving technologies such as battery electric vehicles also comes growing job opportunities. The electric car market is now outpacing the auto industry in sales at $20.3 million in 2021 and is supposed to heighten to a staggering $62.4 million by 2030. While this creates a shocking demand for skilled individual jobs, such as autonomous vehicle developers, automotive technicians, and designers, what did this mean for mechanics? Having such an increase in autonomous cars, you would assume the need for mechanical engineers would decline significantly, but it is actually projected to increase from 10% by 2022 to 2023. The transition of autonomous vehicles is forecasted to create more jobs than it will ever displace. By 2035, autonomous driving is estimated to possibly create $300 billion to $400 billion in revenue. These economic advantages also deal with a multitude of other matters related to autonomous vehicles. A study reveals that battery-operated vehicles could prevent a total of 1.4 million accidents and a total of 12,000 fatalities. This would result in the savings of $94 billion.
Trust is not something I make people earn, so I'm not inclined
While I believe that the incline in autonomous vehicles will eventually outnumber gas-powered vehicles, I don't think that they will go completely extinct. We are only in the beginning of this transition, and there have been many setbacks along the way. We need to think about the impact battery-operated vehicles would produce on not just the car world, such as the need for more electricity. Can our grids produce that much?
I think it's an inevitability. I believe it's going to happen. I believe it's good for the world. I don't know. I don't think that we're ever going to be rid of gasoline and diesel-powered vehicles. But if we get, your daily runners to be in electrical, I think it would be good, or battery-powered stuff.
Something he wants, tell him no.